Alright, I want to go ahead and talk to you about the children's ministry and what we're doing with our classrooms. As you can see here, I have stuff for the K through first class for the first week of April. Now this stuff is going to be going to Sherry later on. We have here a packet. Every kindergarten teacher will get and first grade teacher will get this packet. Inside the packet you're going to find your guys' God time cards, which gives you a verse, and the parents can read through this. This is on cardstock. You'll also find inside, to go with that, they will be yellow. In this case I only have white. Refrigerator doors. These will be cut in half so that you'll have two pieces of paper here, so you could give one to each student. Okay, this will go to one student, this one will go to another student. You'll also find inside, I'm only holding one piece of paper here to make my life easy, names for the large group presentation, which you will read about inside this packet. Inside here you will find information on the plug-in, which is for when when kids first arrive, and there's details around here what to do for the early arrivers. You will also find the power-up, which is the second half of the small group environment, and you'll find paperwork on the catch-on. Now you can go online and look at all this stuff in advance, but we've also printed it up for you. You will get an entire month's worth of this material at the beginning of the month. You could also get it before, sometime at the end of March or at the end of the next month. You could get the next month's material. So you will be getting all this material in advance to go ahead and look at. You'll also find that for one of the activities it requires beads and string to make necklaces. We have provided that here inside this bag. A couple things I wanted to point out to the kindergarten and first grade teachers. First of all, in the power up section, it talks about there's an option to play a video called Wonder. We are not doing that part, so we won't have the Wonder video at this point of time. Some of you have been concerned, saying, do we have to do all the things that are described in the Wonder section, in the Power Up section? No, we do not. We can make changes to the Power Up section. Make changes as you see fit. What we're trying to do, the beauty of this program is that what they learn in the family program and what they learn in the classrooms and what they're going to learn at home is all going to base around the same subject. So that's what we're using this material. But some people are asking questions like, well, can we add a little bit material to this? Yes, you can. On the beginning of the first page, you'll notice there's a series of places for memory verse to help teach the kids this memory verse. You'll also notice that there's Bible stories where it talks about in Luke 6, verse 12 through 16, Matthew 10, and Mark 3. You could talk about those parts of the Bible with your small group. You could open up the Bible, read the stories to them, and ask them questions. You could have the kids act out different scenes, or maybe you'll just have them act out one scene and have them dress up and just talk about that. Maybe they'll draw a picture about that scene. Whatever you feel is best that'll help impress upon the kids about friendship, that's fine with me. Make changes. This curriculum is designed to be adaptable to everybody. Some people say, well, this style is not really my style. Well, that's okay. Again, let me encourage you to make changes as you see fit. Just stay on the subject of friendship, and we just ask you to follow these as a basic guideline. I also want to take a moment to talk about what materials you're going to get beyond what you see here on screen. You'll also be getting a large poster board for your kids to color on, which is talked about in the plug-in section at the very beginning of the ministry. You'll also be giving coloring like markers and crayons and stuff like that. You'll be getting a memory verse chart, as well as like index cards, crayons, plain white paper. A lot of the stuff is talked about in your plug-in and catch-on section. I just forgot to mention that. You'll also notice whenever it asks for like a big bulletin board, we're going to be using the whiteboards at the school. Okay? Now, there's going to be two baskets. or two bins in your classroom. The first bin is the bin that you're going to have there every week. It's going to have the same basic material. It's going to have crayons, it's going to have the glue, construction paper, basic items that you can use to make crafts and such things as you're going to need. Those will always be there. Then you're going to have another bin which is going to have something that's specific. Maybe in your lesson plan it's going to ask you to bring a fish net. So we're going to have in a special box a area where we're going to have fish nets and stuff like that just for that week's lesson. We're going to ask you to bring it in first service, use the material, and then leave it there so that the people from second service can also use that material, the same material like the fish net and the hats and whatever else is needed. So we're going to provide that. Just like the kindergarten through first graders, the second through third grade as well as the fourth through fifth grade are going to have these cards right here. You're going to have God time cards which go to each student, as well as refrigerator doors. Again, this will be yellow and not white. I just happen to have white in this case. You'll give one of these each to each student. They can take home and put on the refrigerator, and it'll give stuff for their family to talk about and think about during the week. This is information for the family to discuss over a 4-day period of time. Inside your packet, you're going to find out you're going to get 4 weeks of, or 4 packets, 1 packet for each week, unless there's a 5-day or 5-week month, and in that case you'll get 5 packages. But you're going to get 4 packages. In this package, you're going to see that we already have the verse labels here. These are going to be given to students for them to use, okay? Some of you are asking, do we have to print our own labels? No, we have these for you already. You also notice that inside you have the target graphics. This is talked about in the large group environment. We already have these printed for you to give and hand out to students. There's also character 1, character 2, which is talked about, I believe, in the catch-on section where you need this paperwork. We have these printed up and we're ready to give those to you as well. You're going to find inside that we have for you, just like in the other classrooms, the plug-in section, which talks about what to do when people come in. There's going to be an area where it's going to ask for pickup sticks. We will have the pickup sticks for you inside your bag. You're going to notice that we have the power-up section. This talks about, again, the Wonder video. Go ahead and don't worry about the Wonder video. Some people were saying, hey, do we have to dress up in tights and be merry men? No, you don't. If you read the script, you do not need to do this part. What I would suggest to do is to go ahead and talk about how Robin Hood didn't work alone and how he had merry men who helped him out. Then I would go ahead and have them look at the verses that are explained right here where it says Bible story, where it talks about in Luke 6, Matthew 10, and Mark 3. I would have one kid read each section, or maybe a couple kids read each section, and then I'd ask them questions like, what is this section talking about? How did Jesus pick his friends? How can we apply this verse to our life? What did Peter think about that? Ask a few questions and get them to think about the subject a little bit. Basic open-ended questions. Usually yes/no questions will not open up too much of a conversation or discussion. So you could go ahead and look at that material. Some parts in here where there's talking about the song, which I can't find. Here we go. You don't need to worry about the leadership worship. You could go ahead and skip that section. Go ahead and look at the prayer and what's discussed. What we're really trying to press is that we choose your friends carefully and we treat them the way they want to be treated. Then you're going to go to the catch-on section. The catch-on section is simply the last closing up part of the small group environment. Again, you're given some information here which you could go ahead and go through. It's going to ask for supplies and like colored file folders and stuff like that, post-its, notes, pencils. We are going to provide that for you, so don't feel that you need to go out and get this stuff. If you have any questions, please call Connie or I and we will go ahead and get the material for you. If you have questions on if we're going to have this material, please call us at 255-7246, extension 237 for Paul Luna, or extension 224 for Connie Rice.